All right, the 24th of January 2023. It's the last Tuesday of the month. How time flies, yeah? Just the other day, we were making resolutions. It's 1 month down. I don't know how that is going for you so far, but welcome to this yet another exciting episode of Morning Breakfast Show on your television screens. This is KUTV Rise Today, streaming to you live from KUTV Kenya. Remember, you can get this on your television stations, but also television channels, but also you can get it on Facebook, where we're streaming live all the way to the end of the show. So ensure you are checking out our live stream if you're going out of the house, so that you can get connected and still stay tuned to all the conversations that are happening here on the show all the way to 10 in the morning. Here, we get to discuss matters of business that is different from what you saw yesterday on KUTV Rise Today, that is Art and Culture Monday with Blessing. Today, I bring you all the economics from all over the world and how world politics is also influencing your business as you are still conducting that in Kenya. If you're going to your place of work, also it's important you know how are all the factors affecting how you're going to, of course, earning and also conducting any other business that is relating to profit making. That's what we do here. Ensure that you're making profit even as you struggle with whatever else is happening in the economy. First thing that I want us to take a look at, of course, is that proposed budget by the Kenya Kwanza government. And I'm seeing here the Business Daily detailing the figures, and it seems that the President William Ruto's administration will be borrowing a bit more than what President Uhuru Kenyatta did, and it's a bit confusing considering that this Kenya Kwanza government already had plans to go slow on debt, and here it seems that it will take around 3.6 trillion within the first term. That is 3.6 trillion borrowed within the first term, a record higher than what former President Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed in his first term. That was 2.7 trillion Kenyan shillings. And this, within the first term, is going to be about 89% of the record 4.1 trillion that was eventually borrowed in the next term by President Uhuru Kenyatta, the one that led up to June of 2022. How exactly are they going to be going slow on debt when this is the amount of money that is required to boost, of course, that proposed budget? And I'm going to also have a look at that budget as well to see what are some of those areas that President William Ruto has already prioritized in terms of how this money is going to be distributed. That is in the coming one term, that is from now all the way up to 2027. And I had already had that here. I'm just going to grab that real quick on that draft that has already been presented for consideration. Some of the highlights that I think I can mention here real quick before we, of course, get into the show, and we'll be delving in depth into these figures and also into exactly how this is going to be implemented. KRA is going to reduce VAT gap from 38.9% to 19.8%, and also integration of KRA tax systems with telcos. I'm already sure that you're aware of the conversation that's happening on integrating KRA system within your M-Pesa, so that to ensure more Kenyans are brought into the tax bracket. Currently, only 1 million Kenyans have KRA pins. A record of 40 million Kenyans. Of course, we know that more of those can be brought into the tax bracket, and that is what the Kenya Kwanza government is trying to target for the financial year 2023-2024. 3 trillion of tax revenue is that target for the next 1 year. The Kenya Kwanza government also talks of setting up other amenities like the National Housing Fund and corporate social housing schemes, which are going to be, affording mortgages to various Kenyans, and also affording low-cost housing to many Kenyans who might not be able to afford that right about now. The Kenya Kwanza government says that the potential tax base within this Kenya's informal sector amounts to about 2.8 trillion Kenyan shillings. So if this can be roped into the tax net, it will be KRA's priority to go after this informal sector. More of those proposals and recommendations we'll be taking a look at in this draft that I have here with me, so you can get it as well. Remember, it's a link that's available on the Treasury's pages, so if you can go check out their website as well, Treasury You can have a look at that budget draft proposal. And, this is actually the last day that you can also be allowed to share your comments to the National Treasury on that draft budget policy statement. Today, the 24th of January, is your last day and opportunity to weigh in on the matters of what has been proposed here in this document by the Kenya Kwanza government. This is out there in the public, as I already said, so be checking it out. We'll be considering more of what has been detailed there as we go on with the show. Other things that are happening as well in the country, I did say here sometime last year towards the end of 2022 that the best place to invest at the moment was Safaricom, which had shares that are not performing well at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And of course, considering their expansion into Ethiopia, it was around the best time to invest. However, maybe it could be a bit too late now. A mystery investor has already swooped in and purchased a couple of shares, and this has boosted Safaricom extremely well. And this low trading season looks like it's coming to an end. The traded volume jumped from 57 million on January 18th, and this was from 4 million that was there before. That is by the previous Tuesday when I was here. So this is a rare surge for a counter that has witnessed 10 million trading for multiple days in the recent weeks. The share price had touched a low of 20 shillings. That's why I was insisting that this is the best place to invest. The telco's value, which went to the lowest in 69 months to around 800 billion, is now bouncing back in this huge buy, and the stocks are back to what they were 69 months ago. The trade share jumped last week on Wednesday to 57 million compared to what was there on Tuesday at 4 million. So you can imagine that's an extremely huge jump, and you can be taking a look at that. We'll of course give you details on where else you can invest. If you're keen, of course, you reaped heavily from this huge turnaround, but also stay keen to more that is coming up here on Biashara Tuesday. Here on the other papers, the Standard, the Daily Nation. Remember, I'll also be having a detailed look in this on the newspaper review section that comes up to you later on, of course, on this show. But here, of course, the biggest story that is happening in the world of politics, Ruto versus Raila Amolo Odinga. The President, William Ruto, is in tussles with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is the chief of the opposition, and asking that all Kenyans say no to the UDA regime. That is opposition chief Raila Odinga, saying that this regime is unfortunate and unfair with its policies and it must be resisted. And the resistance started yesterday. And this is when opposition leader Raila Odinga arrived in the country from South Africa and has now delivered his bombshell on some of those things that he thinks should be done to ensure that this country is headed to the right direction. The Daily Nation has details on some of those stands and demands. One of those being, of course, that President William Ruto and his government resigns to allow for a legitimate government to take over. Apparently, of course, that being the Azimio la Umoja government as per Raila Odinga. The Kenya Kwanza government needs to resign, according to him, because he won the elections of August 2022. The other demand is that the 2022 election records and infrastructure made public, and the IEBC servers need to be audited. Any attempts to reconstitute IEBC to involve fully all the Kenyans, and also Kenyans need to resist the policies that have raised the cost of living. On his side, President William Ruto responding, saying that he is not going to be, of course, tolerating any form of blackmail that serves the interest of a few, and there will be no handshake whatsoever if that is the quest that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is going for. That battle royale is what the Daily Nation is calling it. Raila's bombshell is what the Standard has there on the headline. We'll be having a look at what, of course, came out of that Kamukunji declaration, where Azimio leader was there with a couple of leaders, and of course a very huge crowd of Kenyans who were there to witness what he had to say and what kind of direction he wants the rest of his followers to go in the next few days. We'll be having a look at that political temperature that is arising in the country. Remember to grab yourself a copy of the dailies and any other that I may not have here. Ojong Mariam always sends me the People Daily. Please do send that. And also the Star, if you have that. I'd love to know what kind of stories they have prioritized in there. Last week on Tuesday, we were looking forward to the 23rd of January, where the High Court was going to declare if the bank to M-Pesa transaction charges were illegal. And it seems that there's no reprieve for Kenyans who might be looking forward to an extension of the ban of bank to M-Pesa charges, and banks will continue to levy those transfer charges to M-Pesa wallets after the High Court declined to extend a temporary order that had suspended the reintroduction of these charges. Remember though that this case is in a couple of courts. This was from Justin Mugure Thande, who was responding to a request by one Nairobi resident. However, there is another one that is already before Justice Anthony Mrima, and this is of course pitching Safaricom, CBK versus a couple of Kenyans who might be feeling that this is disadvantageous to Kenyans because any transactions on Lipa na M-Pesa between Safaricom and its clients should be considered that as their own charges to bear. So we're following up on these stories, even as the Central Bank of Kenya stays silent on following some of these court orders. Remember, this temporary suspension of charges was ordered a few weeks ago. However, no bank heeded that call, pending what CBK had to say. If you take a look at the other side of mobile digital lenders, which we've also been discussing for a long time, they are still waiting for the Central Bank of Kenya to give directive on which of these mobile digital lenders have the license to operate in Kenya. 278, a record number of these digital lenders who are still waiting for licensing from CBK. And these firms, which have been raising billions of Kenyan shillings for awarding money to cash-hungry Kenyans, are struggling to source fresh funds. For now, investors are feeling a bit jittery because the Central Bank of Kenya is not giving them the necessary licenses that will allow them to be on the Google Play Store. Google has banned all these mobile lenders, including your favorite ones from Tala to Branch to the ones that we, of course, can't finish if we name all of them, because there are 278 of them who are still awaiting for that node to file an application to allow Google to put them up on the Play Store. So that's some of those highlights of the hottest stories that are coming out of the world of business and also politics. We'll be breaking it down later on in the show, so be sure to stay tuned in for those kinds of conversations. And as I always say, I can't have these conversations alone. It's important that I bring up people who are also involved in various sectors of the economy and also trying to push business and, of course, livelihoods forward. And here this morning, I'll be speaking on matters of business courses in TVET institutions. Here will be Faris Jain, who's a chairperson or national chairman of M-KUSA. We'll be giving you information on exactly what M-KUSA is and what it does. Also accompanied by Kimani Washira, who's the president of TVET Students Association. So you want to tune in on that conversation because it's interesting, coming from a backdrop where the cabinet secretary for education, that is Machogu, that is CS Machogu, giving a declaration some time back there that TVET institutions and teacher training colleges to promote STEM courses, and put on a hold onto business courses or phase out business courses within 3 years. And in his letter to these institutions, Machogu said that the government of Kenya has put a lot of emphasis and resources towards the support of STEM courses in all these TVET institutions. In view of this, TVET institutions should prioritize providing STEM courses and phase out business courses. This being a business show, it's quite unfortunate that we have to see something like that. So what will happen to improve the job opportunities and also to allow all these who are already registered in business courses to thrive within the job market? How will they still survive and not be left behind even as these institutions go towards a STEM-focused curriculum? STEM is science and technology, engineering, and mathematics courses. So phasing out of business courses, of course, leaving those who have already registered for business courses and already graduated in those business courses in the dark. They're being left in the dark even as vocational education and training in Kenya takes a turn into STEM prioritizing. So we'll be having that conversation here. Please ensure that you send us any questions that you have. If you're a TVET student who might be having any questions regarding to what direction this will be taking, please do send your questions on all the social platforms, and I'll be asking my guest here to chime in and tell us what exactly what the direction they feel that the nation should take to ensure that no one is left behind. From the 28th of January, that is in a few days' time, in 4 days' time, to around to the 3rd of February, Kenyatta University will be holding its Career Week. And I'm having a conversation with the director of the Career Development and Mentoring Programs at Kenyatta University, that is Dr. Margaret Muturi. She'll be telling us what they are doing this year for the Career Week, and what are the themes, what is the theme, of course, of this year's Kenyatta University Career Week, and how it relates to the current job market. Their focus this year is towards the digital economy, and we've seen the government prioritizing, of course, matters of STEM in TVET institutions, and also even in last year's Jamhuri Day celebrations, President William Ruto saying that it's time that Kenya heads towards a technology-driven direction for the economy. So it seems that everything is coming in the right time for us to have that kind of discussion here on this show. So you don't want to miss out on that. That is going to be the theme as well of this show: STEM, technology, and business in the current job market. So those are the ones we are going to be revolving around, even as we have a look at what developments are there as of the moment in the world of politics, and also in anything else coming out of global economics. My name is Richard OKENYE. I'll be going out to have a look at what is on the roads right about now. Tag me on my handles at Richard_OKENYE. I'll be having a look at that, and also courtesy of Ma3 Route, giving you the current traffic and transport conditions in the city and anywhere else. And then we'll be back to matters of business on #Biashara Tuesday. Use that hashtag on all our social platforms. As I said, we are streaming live. Don't miss out on any bit. Let's kick it off. All right, welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. Tell me what is happening on the roads. Today's traffic updates are brought to you by Ma3 Routes. Here it is, the state of Kiambu Road from DCI. Hey. Whoa, this is, I can't believe it. I think I've seen Kiambu Road really bad, but not as bad as I'm seeing here. I don't know how people coming from town to Kiambu are doing, because I think all lanes are occupied by cars that I'm seeing here headed to town. And that road is really, really not enough for all this kind of traffic. So if you're there, this is KK wa Kirigiti. Kirigiti is somewhere there in Kiambu. So if you're coming from Kirigiti to town, I don't know how you're going to be surviving. But Kiambu Road, unakaa vibaya sana. If you're coming out of the house, don't use it. Tafuta alternative route. Here, there's a sentiment by Mkenya anasema, they destroyed, this is to Kenha, Kenya. You destroyed our once beautiful Mombasa public road aesthetics. You took our lanes by force, destroyed median strip reserved for BRT lanes. Well, I don't see BRT anymore. Pedal, cycle lanes, and destroyed pedestrian crossing. So pedestrian crossing, BRT lanes, cycling lanes, and the median strip. What's a median strip? I'd love to know for very ardent road users when I'm a median strip nini, but it looks like they're not very happy by the expressway. That is Mombasa Road users. They're saying it was way beautiful before the expressway. There's someone who's been hit by a trailer on Mombasa Road just after the tunnel traffic. There will be a traffic build-up there. So there's police officers at the scene at the moment. If you're heading that direction, please tell us what happens in the next 5 minutes if they already brought everything back to order. That's a traffic accident this morning on Mombasa Road. So kama unatumia Mombasa Road, be aware of that. Train ndo hiyo, iko Mutindo right about now. Kama unatumia train, unajua kile ya kufanya. Traffic situation pale Kiambu Road, nimesema ni kubaya sana from DCI to Muthaiga. 2 minor accidents are worsening the situation. I am yet to receive where that information on the accidents is on Kiambu Road, so please tell me that as well. There's an accident at Astro Petrol Station along the Eastern Bypass. So approach with caution. Traffic is building up there as well. Here also there is a problem in Kenya. The problem in Kenya is enforcement. In Tanzania and Malawi, you cannot have a truck on the road without a yellow tape. But hapa Kenya, you know what happens. Even something that simple, kuweka ni issue. I think it's a complaint on the reflective material that needs to be fitted on the rear of all vehicles which are carrying goods on the road. So that's to the relevant people who are in that kind of industry, please ensure mnaeka pale the yellow reflective material that is needed. Those are the updates. Eastern Bypass, Kiambu Road, Thika Road. You're of course very sure that if Kiambu Road is building up all the way to Muthaiga, kama unatoka Thika Road, ukifika KCA, it's also a gridlock to town. So use alternative routes. I don't know what routes Thika Road people use when they're going to town if there's build-up, but do tell me that as well. I'm not receiving any updates outside of Nairobi yet. If you're in Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisii, kama kuna traffic, leave the other stories aside. Tuambie traffic conditions for now, and then we'll get to the very wild stories. But for now, those are the updates to you, and then I'll be giving them, of course, as we go on with the show. I am coming back in a short while. Don't go too far. I am joined by 2 guests to have that conversation on the scrapping or the proposed scrapping and phasing out of business courses in TVET institutions. They are the prime of leadership in the various organizations and institutions that they are in. So it's going to be important that we get to know what their insights are, their sentiments, and what kind of direction those who need to take business courses should be pursuing at the moment. This is still Biashara Tuesday. My name is Richard OKENYE. Keep it locked. right, welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. This is the part of the show where we get into the lounge and also got to hear a few things here and there from the people who are out there on the ground, especially the youth. I'm always trying to ensure the people who are here are not hawajaniacha sana miaka. Si unajua ndo niweze kuelewa pia, because I'm one of those people which these conversations affect. Here on set with me are two very interesting gentlemen. One is president, the other one is chairman. So hii ni masaa ya kuita watu kiongozi, kwa sababu unajua Januari imefika kona. So if you see me saying kiongozi, chairman, president, sana natafuta unga pia. So allow me to do that. But here is the chairperson, the national chairman of MKUSA, and also accompanied by Kimani Wachira, president, TVET's Students Association. The chairperson, national chairman MKUSA, being Faris Jain, sitting just right besides me. But before we get into that conversation, I already preempted on what is informing the conversation we're having this morning here, a directive by the Cabinet Secretary for Education. And I am going to just maybe quote him so that I can put people in, to put people into perspective so that they are also in the same page on what kind of discussion we're going to be having here. In a letter that was sent to TVET institutions, of course here, the Cabinet Secretary saying that in 3 years' time, TVET institutions should be phasing out the business courses that are currently being offered, so that the institution's curriculum focus solely on STEM courses, or in favor of STEM courses. The next 3 years, the government is going to phase out business courses in these technical and vocational education and training centers, and this is going to be in favor of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And this comes as President William Ruto as well is planning to recruit 3,000 tutors by March to provide this quality education that is needed in these TVET institutions. In a letter, I'm going to just, of course, quote him real quick so that we can get into the reactions by this gentleman, and also what kind of direction we are expecting the nation to take. More than 2,340 institutions are accredited under the TVET authority. Here, the CS says that as you are aware, the government of Kenya has put in a lot of emphasis and resources towards the support of STEM courses in all TVET institutions. And in view of this, it is of paramount importance to ensure that the country derives value for money from the huge resources that have been invested in TVET courses, in TVET for support of STEM courses, and ensure that there is no drop in the overall enrollment in these institutions. The purpose of this letter was to make a report on the subject matter and the implementation of the phasing out of business courses and the activities in the increase in enrollment of STEM areas and STEM courses. They have until Friday to submit what they had until Friday, I think that was 2 weeks ago, to submit what they thought will be the direction that they are headed to. So if you're a TVET student who's enrolled in a business course, we'd also love to hear wewe unafeel aje saa hizi, what are kind of reactions to this recent directive. But let's just get into it right away. Bwana chairperson, habari yako?
Mzuri sana Richard.
How's it going?
It's going well. Asante sana for inviting us here to expound more on the issues that are facing students, especially from Mount Kenya, because that is where I represent. Yeah. All
right. And you didn't come alone as well. Accompanied by president. Is it? Did you decide to differentiate president and chairperson by kuweka kofia ama? That just happened.
This is a.
Yeah, that's a brand. Also, a really nice pin there. Has a crown on top for president. Yeah.
Thank you.
How is it going for you?
It's fine.
Yeah.
We are grateful. We are thankful for hosting us today this morning. Tumekuja hapa tujadili mawili matatu kuhusu shule zetu za TVETs. Maarufu kwa Kiswahili TVETs zaitwaje? Tusaidie vile.
TVET mimi si wa Kiswahili sana. TVET labda Ujong Mariam kama uko nyumbani TVET tuna
shule za anuai.
Anuai.
Naam.
Leo nina learn sana kweli. Anuai. Shule za anuai TVET. Sawa, wewe ni president. Sawa, president kwa Kiswahili tunasemaje?
Rais.
Rais wa anuai. Shule za anuai. Kweli kabisa.
Na ufundi.
Unaendeleaje pale?
Niko salama. Tumekuja ninaendelea vyema. Tumetoka nyumbani vyema. Tumetumwa salamu na wazazi na wanafunzi tuje tusalimie na tusalimie wasikilizaji na wanaotutazama.
Right. Are you a TVET student yourself?
Yes, I'm a student. I'm a bona fide student at Meru National Polytechnic, where I'm pursuing diploma in civil engineering in my last year.
All right. And Bwana Chairman,
yes sir.
Are you also in school? Ama wewe ushachana wewe sasa ni mambo ya
I'm in school.
Yeah.
I'm taking a Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering. Niko pale Technical University of Kenya.
All right. So today is a set of engineers. You'll be surprised that I'm also an engineer, still not accredited by the engineering board, but you know, trafika hapo. So today we're having a conversation with engineers, but we are focusing on business courses. This directive by the cabinet secretary on phasing out of business courses. This is a business show, and of course we are really concerned on how this is going to affect the job market. Of course, business is the backbone of every society and of every economy. What were your reactions on this kind of phasing out? Is it a good thing? Is it something we should be concerned about? Should we embrace it and focus on STEM? What were your initial reactions, and what is your thought process hizi? Unafikiriaje kuhusu hii directive? Tuanza na wewe chairperson.
Asante sana. Let me first of all start with introducing MKUSA, because we are just saying it in issues. That is Mount Kenya University Colleges and University Students Association, and I'm the sitting national chairman. About the terms of the CS regarding phasing out the business courses in TVETs in mostly some of the universities, let's say that are probably teaching and lecturing about the easy courses za mikono. What we can say is that we can't differentiate right now. We can't differentiate the two, because an engineer needs that person who has done a business course, because as you know, for us engineers and people who take the STEM courses, normally most of us are not very good in probably doing the presentations, going out there to get investors. We really need the people who are doing the business courses. So we can't say that let us now differentiate the two, and each of them goes apart. Yeah.
Okay. So that we don't have engineers who do not know how to do business.
Exactly.
Because you start an engineering firm, you have an engineer there who might not be very up to task, or maybe that's not their area of expertise to maybe push out business, manage the employees or something like that. But we also need to have business courses. What were your initial reactions, na saizi unafikiriaje, President?
Naam, asante. When I saw that memo, I in fact didn't see it. People started calling and asking, what is not happening? What is our state? What is our future? Parents also wanted to inquire, because it was not that clear. I read the memo, and my reaction was, this is another roadside declaration by the minister. He started by making the first declaration about finances, about funding institutions. He later withdrew. He made another roadside declaration about help, which we are sure he's going to do withdraw. So I said, this is another roadside declaration. Unfortunately, he has not withdrawn that, and it is not anchoring well with students, that is our comrades. It is also not anchoring well with our parents, those who have sponsored these students, and also the students themselves. A lot of investment has been done, as they have said, but it has been done on the institutions, not only on STEM courses. We have libraries that are full of books. We have teachers who have lecturers who have been employed by the Public Service Commission. These are government employees. If you remove these courses, this means that you have to also know where you are going to take these teachers. Business courses, even as I'm an engineering student, a lecturer who teaches in the business course industry came to teach me communications and entrepreneurship, because in this world you have to be holistic. Some of the startups that our students are doing back at school, they are doing this in cohort with students who are pursuing procurement, who are pursuing business management, because they are able to date one-on-one. They know each other, they know their strength and weakness. So my reaction was, this is another roadside declaration, and the minister needs to be very careful. And we are telling him that
he needs to think about the real future of this nation and not the interest of foreign donors who want this implemented.
Right. But of course, that very important part you mentioned, there are foreign donors, and it's an interesting bit that I saw here that the Ministry of Education already struck a deal just weeks after the government struck a deal before this declaration with Germany, and this allocated 20 billion Kenyan shillings to Kenya's agriculture, TVET, youth, climate, and energy sectors. So could we say that maybe a bit of influence from external factors, such as some of these deals, which are leading the cabinet secretary to do what you've just called their roadside declarations, you know, of interest that are not really focused on what exactly is happening in these TVET institutions? But maybe bouncing back to you, Bwana Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Here we already saw that the minister is asking, or the cabinet secretary is asking, that the schools provide their plan on how they're going to phase out these business courses. How do you think this is going to impact the job market? Kama tunatuma watu nje, we have no business, people who have business acumen from TVET institutions. We know how intense learning is in some of these TVET institutions. We've seen some of the best work from the engineers that are coming out of it. How do you think it's going to affect the job market? Na kutakuwa na significant negative impact, ama itakuwa tu sawa? We already have enough businessmen and entrepreneurs in society.
we will probably, because the country is still growing, probably will never have enough. And what I can say is that there's something that you have said that probably that is leading to some of these things, that the minister probably giving directives that are not very well probably understood. And I can say probably we have allowed a lot of politics to come in, even when we are talking about the education, and which is a very important thing. And it's one of the most important departments that we have in the country, because these are people who we are entrusting with taking this country forward. So whenever the minister probably allows some of the politics, and there is no that structured engagement with the stakeholders. And here, the stakeholders are more the students, because they are the people who are to say that we feel that this is going right, this is going right. And probably even the major stakeholders in education, probably the consultants and the lecturers, they also need to come into this discussion. But majorly, because this is wholly affecting the students, majorly the students should also be consulted highly, instead of doing this some of these things without consulting them. I think the repercussions of this, it's just like you have said, that we are going to have engineers who can't actually do business plans, which is to be honest, vile hivi Kenya inaendelea, lazima ujue pia kufanya biashara. I'm an engineer myself, and whenever probably you feel that you are inadequate, ndio unatafuta somebody who knows how this can be done. So it's very, very important, and let us find a way, because I know it's also very important. We need engineers, because ukiangalia kama sahi hizi barabara zenye tunajenga, we see Chinese people doing it. And we have enough engineers. So if you ask Kimani, probably he knows like 20 people who are tarmacking, 20 engineers who are tarmacking. Yet barabara ya hapo kwa ukijengwa, you see the people who are coming to do that, they are foreigners, they are Chinese.
Right. So it's not like we have inadequate engineers, so that we need to have more people involved in STEM. We have many people who are tarmacking and have no jobs.
Exactly. This is why I'm saying it's very important. Whatever they want to do, let it, hata kama ni ya course yenye itakuja, ikue a bridge, whereby probably you have not met standards, probably they feel some of our engineers are half-baked. Let us have a course that will bridge that, so that we don't create more problems as we go forward, because there's no need of releasing students, 10,000 students every year out there, and they don't have jobs.
Right. Bwana President, you being at the helm there of TVET institutions and students, of course, getting to hear sentiments from wao wanafilaje, what is going to be the impact on the current and future students who are enrolled in TVET institutions in business courses? Let's say I'm in my final year in Kisii Polytechnic, yeah, and I hear that I'm studying business management, and kidogo CS amesema hiyo mambo ya business courses in these institutions are not going to be, something that we are doing in the next 3 years. There's students ambao wametoka KCSE. Just the other day we saw the results. There are some who have been focused for 4 years. They are like, business courses is what I want to do. I was born an entrepreneur. I just want to get a few business skills here and there. Na sasa hizi wanapigwa na mbuto, wanaambiwa hii kitu ukifanya ni kama haitakuja kukusaidia sana. The government doesn't want much to do with it in these institutions. What do you think the impact is going to be, and how should they absorb such information?
Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, Kisii is not a polytechnic, it's a national polytechnic. Ausema Okari might come and
apologies to
yes,
National Polytechnic.
It's a national polytechnic. We have 10 national polytechnics in the nation and at TVETs.
Okay.
That declaration has adverse effects today and the future of even those who studied 10 years ago and still tamaking. Most of these students, most of the employees who have seen this directive are starting to question why. Is it that we are not training them well? Is it that they are not qualified? This means that they are asking, should we continue employing those who have already studied there? Those who are still, the declaration was clear that it's going to be a phased out. It is going to take time. The last class that would graduate with a diploma in business management, diploma in procurement, are going to have difficulties in securing employment. You know, as my brother have said here, we have engineers who are tamaking, but in reality, business students, especially diploma holders, because they have a bit of technical knowledge and the business skills, don't tamak so much because their field is wide. If you have done procurement, you can also be a human resource manager. You can be a cooperative manager. Their field is so big. You find that most of the people who are tamaking in reality, especially when it comes to diplomas, are engineers. Because if you have studied civil engineering, your market share is limited.
Yeah.
You can only go to construction. And like our partners who are doing degree, who can venture into modeling, creating this architecture, ours is limited because we are technocrats. We are the one who does the real constructions. We are the one who does the real making of the nation and building of the nation. So when we back to business, those people are actually the one who are telling us, yo, I'm in a certain company and they are offering employment to civil engineers. Why don't you apply? They are actually our link to the business world today.
Right.
And when you face this, it raises questions, not only to the parents and the students, but also to the lecturers. Our business relies on the information. Our businesses outside there are reliant on these technocrats because the one who are doing the actual students who are doing procurement, when they go to the work to employment, they will be doing the daily procurement activities, and we leave the degree holders to do the office work.
Right.
When I say office work is just signing, knowing this need to be done.
Yeah.
But the person who is running those industries are that diploma holder who went to Northeastern National Polytechnic and studied human resource or cooperative management or any other business course, and his state and his future is now affected
by a roadside declaration
by the minister due to foreign intervention or due to foreign policies that are not well anchored and enshrined even in our constitution. We talk about public participation. It was never
There was
there.
no public participation in this matter. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're seeing here that I was having a look at Ezekiel Machogu Ombaki, who is the current cabinet secretary for Ministry of Education. And I was having a look at his Wikipedia page here, early life and education. Machogu attended Nduru High School and later completed his O-levels at Agoro Sare Secondary School. And he attended the University of Nairobi. Can you guess what he studied? Would you take a wild guess? Something.
Let us not attempt because he's the minister and he may summon us tomorrow for getting that wrong and say that even this interview got it wrong.
He studied the Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. So it is quite shocking to see someone who is in the field of business declaring that business courses be phased out. And as you've mentioned there, of course, some other factors, including that, of course, funding that has been struck, the deal that has been struck between the Kenyan government and the government of Germany. But before we get into more politics on the details of that deal, because I may not be privy of all the information that went into that deal, you mentioned there, interestingly, that, of course, those who had already actually graduated from these TVET institutions, that it still impacts them kwa sababu unatokea kwa ofisi, wanaangalia hivi wanasema, Northeastern National Polytechnic, you studied what? No. Business courses, CS alisema, ni kama hiyo hatutaki sana. So the issue, I don't know whether the issue will be, does he think maybe there's not enough training, as you said? Should there be more investment on the training that is happening, more investment on the development of the curriculum? Or, Bwana Chairman, what would you say is the way, what other alternative solutions or approaches should there be considered to improve education and job opportunities in the business field? So we're not phasing out training, we're ensuring that kila kitu iko sawa na bado watu wanafunza ile vitu wanataka wasome.
What I would say, Richard, is that we need to invest heavily in our education department, because we are actually entrusting these young people with handling the future of our country. So we should really invest heavily in this department. And probably, if I may take you back, there was a time when if you came out from Kenya Poly, the now formerly Kenya Poly, what now we are calling Technical University of Kenya. Whenever you came with a diploma from that university, and were probably in engineering, mostly those engineering courses, you could get direct job entry because it was very highly valued. So what we are saying is that probably that has been eroded with time, because again we have taken so many business courses into what was meant to be a TVET institution. What I can say is that let us heavily invest, because you find like a place like Technical University of Kenya, it produces the best engineers in East Africa, but yet for some probably for some labs, for some workshops, people go to other institutions because we don't have those things there. So what probably we can say is that let us invest heavily, and also as the president TVETs here has said, let us make sure that we sit down, and I wouldn't want to say that Ashira is very abrasive. He is the person who drove the gari ya polisi kule Meru.
Alleged.
So he is alleged. So ila kitu naweza sema ni eti, because we are leaders, let us sit down and see the best way that we can do this. Because I agree that probably we have eroded what was meant to be the impact of TVET institutions. But yet again, these TVET and these business courses, we also need them like as engineers. Because I'm telling you, Richard, you're going to be a production engineer. You're doing all the work for the company. You're burning yourself on the production floor. Yet again, like Washira has said, at the end of it all, somebody who did a Bachelor of, let's say, commerce or economics, general manager, CEO. Exactly. So let us try and integrate all these things.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to say that probably let us leave one of them apart. No. Because as an engineer, I also need some of those skills. I also need to know that nikitoka pale kwa production floor, one day I can become the CEO of this company. But without those business skills, let me say, without that business course, then it will be very, very hard, because even sitting down with the other CEOs will be a challenge to you.
That's a very good, actually, maybe proposition to these heads of TVETs who have already been given a declaration I think they cannot refuse to phase out the business courses. Maybe in their plan, the one that they're going to present to the cabinet secretary, find a way not to maybe push out the business courses, but maybe integrate them within the already existing STEM courses. How are you and the Mount Kenya University and College Students Association going to address concerns or any challenges that may arise from this kind of directive? have any plans to write to the minister or take to the roads or go to Kamkunji as Raila?
As we have had, Richard,
Yeah.
you know, as leaders of tomorrow, we must always seek, first of all, to sit down with people and try to find solutions, because this is why the people who trusted us with these positions that we hold today, that is what they expect from us. They don't expect us to come back to them complaining that atuskizwi huku na kule. So what we have done as Mkusa, and this is always what we have always done, whenever we feel there is a problem, even politically, even in the country, and we feel that the president might probably have been misled somewhere, what we do, our first step of action is that we try to write to the president. We try to reach to him, because we want to make sure that we voice our grievances. It's not just complaining. Unajua zamani tulikuwa tu tunatokea kwa barabara, you see us on the road and you don't actually even know why we are complaining.
Yeah,
so we
true.
want to first of all approach it from that level, because I have always said that whether in the streets or in jail, cooperation will always bring you more benefits than coercion. than coercion. So
will,
it's
yeah.
very, very important. First of all, let us seek to have a dialogue. If the dialogue fails, you know what comrades do.
Yeah.
Comrades' power is second to God's power. So, and we know that it cannot fail. Yeah, but
Just
let
like
us
God's power doesn't.
Exactly. So let us first of all always try to address issues and have a sit down with people. They're also human beings. They might have gone somewhere wrong, thinking that probably they had the best of interest.
Right.
But to come back later and realize that this was not for the good of everybody.
Right.
So we always try to make sure that we voice our grievances in a very respective way. Even kwa hii maneno ya kuendesha country na mbele. You know, Wachira is today the president of Tiveta. Probably tomorrow he'll be the MP for Hari, where he comes from. So it's always very important, and he can't always go back to his people complaining that niligonga hii mlango sikufunguliwa. Yeah, the people expect that they have given you power. Now go and utilize that power and bring them what that they can live from that power. Yeah.
Great. President Wachira,
Yes.
umesikia hapo that the people expect you to have solutions. So we are not here on this show to complain, right? We are just going to address what is happening and what kind of solutions can be offered. He very rightfully mentioned there that we need to invest heavily on some of these courses to ensure kwamba we're not just phasing them out. We are either wamesema wako na 20 billion that they've signed between Kenya and Germany. I think that money should be used to strengthen these business courses in the TVET institutions. Maybe your approach, what do you think, in what areas or what kind of resources or what kind of investment do you think should be made kwa hizi TVET saizi, as you've been seeing the students' complaints and the kind of issues they are facing? What kind of investment and resources should be availed to ensure that even if it's phased out or not, even if there's still business courses, they are still well prepared for the job market?
Thank you very much. For, the future of the nation lies solely on the hearts of the youth. Scrapping of TVET business courses does not mean they'll not be taught elsewhere. They'll be taught in universities. They'll be taught in private TVET institutions. What the roadside declaration, as I'm referring it to, did is take the Kenyan parent and youth who is already exploited economically to more suffering if he wants to pursue a business course, because he'll have to look for that in a private institution, and we all know how much fee goes into that. We as an association are saying that in this conflict there can be a very amicable solution. Instead of specializing, having all the TVET institutions specialize in STEM or put so much effort on STEM, why don't we have regional centers focusing on STEM education? Currently, each national polytechnic is a center of excellence in a certain field. In Meru, we are the center of excellence in civil engineering in south of Limpopo and south of north of Sahara. That means that if you want the best plumber in Africa, you'll have to go to look for a graduate from Meru National Polytechnic. And maybe to put it clear, we don't have a degree in plumbing elsewhere. Even in Kenya and in the world, we don't have a degree in that. The highest you can go is a certificate. So some of these technical courses that are offered in this institution are very instrumental to the development of this nation. At the same time, as I have said, let us use that approach
of having regional centers, centers of excellence that can train and focus so much on TVET education, and then the rest will offer business courses as they continue offering STEM education. It will be a win-win situation for the government, a win-win situation for the comrades, and a win-win situation for the nation. Because as I've said, the future of this nation lies in the hearts of these youths who are being chased away from business courses. And some of them, since they were young and tender, wanted to be entrepreneurs. And their grades, if you look at the last results, more than 3/4 of all the graduates will have to transition to TVET institutions because they did not attain C+ and above. And if you want to have 100% transition, all of them cannot pursue diploma courses that are related to engineering. We'll have another problem of surplus
of STEM
graduates,
yeah.
And we'll have to import business despite the saturation in our market of unemployed diploma STEM graduates.
That's true.
Surely.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense
like that,
to our nation.
That's
so
true.
we are telling the ministry through the State Department of Vocational Training Center, the PS, the CS, consider having institutions that can be regional centers offering STEM courses, and then the rest are left to offer business courses for the prosperity of this nation.
That's correct. I'm having a look here at technical and vocational training as what the internet gets to define the meaning. Vocational education is education that prepares people to work as a technician or take up employment in a skilled craft or trade as a tradesperson or artisan. So, trades cannot escape business. So there's no way you can tell me that there's going to be a plumber, as you said, the best plumber, and wants to set their own operation. They have no idea how to do a business plan, how to relate with the employees, some of those soft skills that are already taught in the world of business courses. So it's important that that's still inculcated within the training. As you said, if they need to put STEM as a priority, they can have regional STEM centers, as they've already done with universities. A random example, if we were to take Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, we will say that there's no need to do medicine in a school of agriculture and technology. We should be focusing on agriculture and technology solely and leave out all the other training that is happening there. But that's a very good call out to the government, of course, to see what it can do in ensuring that even as they focus on STEM, they are going to the right direction, as you called it there, a win-win for the government, for these vocational training institutions, and also for the nation at large. Coming back to you, Bwana Chairperson of the Mount Kenya Region of Students Association. He's given some of those alternative solutions, resources that can be availed to institutions to ensure that kwamba they are also strengthening what they do. As you already said, the investment is important to ensure kwamba there's no one is left behind for the job market. A question for you now is the job market, you said we might get to a point of an oversaturation of STEM engineers, ambao sasa itabidi tumeanza kuimport business
people
expertise when you're business people with the acumen necessary to run these businesses. Currently, how does the job market is the job market ready for these students who have been doing business courses so far?
What I can say is that we have a number of people, and probably our job market is not able to hold so many people, so many of our graduates, and this is why unasikia people are tamaking. There is no any other reason, because if there were job markets and if there were those job opportunities, those people would have actually been placed there. What I'm saying is that probably we have over depended on skilled people from other countries. Just the other day we imported doctors from Cuba. Probably we have all our roads have been built by a company from China. And what we are saying is that our students, those people who are taking the STEM courses, they are the people who will actually be able to enlarge the job market that we have. Because you can imagine, I myself as a mechanical engineer, if today I open an engineering company and I start probably I have a CNC machine there, I have a lathe machine there, you can imagine how many of those students I can accommodate who are coming out from the university, the fresh graduates. So I think the solution that we can have is that let us strengthen these things more. This 20 billion I'm hearing that we are getting from Germany, let us invest more in the CNC machines so that we can have more engineers. There are some engineers
so they can employ all these people.
Exactly. There are some engineers we have, and it's so sad that you will find a mechanical engineer who should be very efficient, be very proficient in using a lathe machine, and na ajui kwa sababu hata lathe machine alisoma parts kwa theory because we don't have those things in the university. I'm telling you, if you walk around these universities that are offering the engineering courses, probably lathe machine utapata Technical University of Kenya na JKUAT peke yake, and the rest bado wanafunza.
CRO ni za kitambo.
Exactly. We have a problem because we have actually moved from lathe machine. I'm telling you that lathe machine is now Stone Age. Tume move on.
Still cavemen.
Exactly. And you can be surprised that we are talking about it right now. That hata hiyo Stone Age kuna mtu pia hakuiona. We have now moved on to CNC machines.
And bado hatuzioni.
Exactly. I can tell you probably hata hiyo CNC machines ukitafuta. I know in Technical University of Kenya we have very good lathe machines and very good CNC machines. But ukienda in the other universities that are offering these courses and they actually should be having these things, hawana. One, we have a problem with the capitation kwa sababu probably a university wants to secure probably one CNC machine, but there is a problem with capitation. You have had so many of them ikisemekana they have bills amounting to billions. So we have a problem in this education sector, and I wish that we could invest more in this education sector. Let us have some of these things kwa sababu kama engineer is good in CNC machine. Richard, I can tell you that once a CNC machine, if you have it and you set up your own company, just one, you will employ over 20 people in that company. Just one. Na sasa ukileta lathe, my brother here utaweza kumtengenezea hata pipes, ndio hiyo plumbing yenye wanasema azitoki China. You'll be surprised that even the toothpicks we use, and this is something hata mtoto wa class 5 anaweza chonga. We are still importing them from China. We are having a problem. We are having a crisis because I feel that even if we are offering some of these STEM courses, I still feel that there is a gap that needs to be bridged, and this is why I said if the government feels that the way that they want to do this and they really want to do this, then let us have that bridging course whereby tunasema Faris, you did a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. It's good that you have graduated 5 years, but we feel that you should know lathe machine more. We feel that you should know CNC machine more. We feel that you should know laser imaging machine more. Some of those things, let us have that bridge so that when we are releasing these people into the job market, we don't again now have to call Exim Bank of China when we take a loan and tunaleta Sinohydro.
That's true.
To build our roads. When we have civil engineers tamaking all over. Wengine hata wamepotea sasa wameenda kufanya business courses. And you will find that most of the engineers who are going actually even to do masters, they don't want to do any masters related to it.
They want to do MBAs.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Because those are where the chances are. And Kimani said it very well, that let us have that bridge because again we need these people who are taking TVETs and TVETs it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and I think it's the future of this country. But then again, we can't have a future without people who can pia ongea on behalf of that
business,
future.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true, because I think first of all, I'm loving the kind of solutions you guys are offering. That I
Thank you
hope
so
that the
much.
government is taking, or whoever is watching from the government is taking that into consideration. And as you write to the president, he can be able to see that these considerations are implemented. That gap there that you mentioned, it's really important that we have people who have business acumen to translate what you have as a skill as an engineer or someone who's well versed in STEM. STEM related issues ndo aweze translate. So kama umefikiria kuhusu let me just manufacture toothpick, but how do I get this toothpick to get to Kisumu? How do I get it to get to Mombasa? How do I ensure I get salespeople? How do I market it? You need some people to do that, or you need a kind of bridging course, as you said there, to ensure that una transition vizuri na uko very aware of what the business world is demanding of your skills. So that's a very good way to maybe wrap it up also as well. But just finally, the final call out to wale ambao wako TVET institutions ambao wanasoma business courses, and also the stakeholders ambao wako in these TVET institutions, the management, on how they can handle this transition as smooth as possible to ensure that there's no panic in the in the students fraternity, or even as they go out and graduate, kwa sababu siku hizi it's a bit tricky to hear a shake up in the world of employment or in the world of jobs. Ukisikia kidogo kuna kitu inakuja kukufanya usipate kazi, you start panicking. Sure. And I don't think it's a very good way for us to be introducing the youth into the world of work. So maybe to the president, kama anaona, to the institutions, and also to the CS and to the students. I think I'll begin with you, because you're the president of the TVET institutions and students as well, so that you can give them a word of encouragement, and also on how they can smoothly transition, even as we see if this phasing out will happen. Hopefully mutaweza stop before it gets to take effect.
Thank you very much. We are not even trying to stop the thing. We are just trying to give a solution that is a win-win for the government and for the nation, and also for the students. One, as I have said, that this nation will only develop if we are able to equip our youths with skills, business, technical, or any other skill that is relevant. And the only way we can be able to progress well is if we don't so much depend on foreign solutions to our problems. As I have said, we may not understand why, and the government has a responsibility to explain why, so that we can also explain that to our students and make them understand. Because if we don't understand, that is the reason why we are here, giving alternative solution, writing memos to the ministry, offering this solution instead of having a sit down. We are looking for a sit down with the government so that we can be explained why they took that direction. We can also raise our issues that are directly sent from the students, and we reach to an agreement that will be a win-win for the nation, and I'm repeating, for the nation, because surely this is a far-reaching directive that will have its future, the future of this nation dependent on it. Maybe the government also needs to reconsider that, as fast as they are saying they have invested in business, let them not forget that the previous government also invested heavily in these courses. For instance, I went to Samburu Technical. Samburu Technical is offering technical courses. It will be made a STEM school, but it does not have the equipment, as Faris Jane said. So we have transitioned it from, we have prevented the Wanjiko in Samburu constituency from studying a business course, and he had a D, and telling him that it's advisable for you to do a diploma in plumbing, diploma in artisan in carpentry, but there is no read machine, there is no other equipment that can do that. Before we get to the real transition, let us ensure that we have the capacity to do that. Let us also think about how are we going to handle all those people who have employed to teach, because that is another crisis.
Oh yeah,
we have thousands of lecturers that have been teaching these courses, and they are employees of the government. Let us not forget that their family depends on them, the nation depends on them.
That's true.
And maybe to wrap it up,
the Minister Education, we know you very well, and we understand that you are a graduate in a business course. We may not understand what made you think about this, and we are just telling you that this is not the right time for this. This is not the right time for this declaration. Maybe it will make sense 50 years to come, but not today. We may be young, but we are in the field, and we are the technicians. We are the one who are studying these courses. We are the one who are going to attachments. You get feedback from the students who are in attachment and in internship. They'll tell you they are actually managing the degree holders because they have the technical skills. And probably you need to rethink this decision before we have impediments in the implementation of Vision 2030 for Kenya, Vision 2063 for Africa, and also implementation of the SDGs and other policies that are there.
Right. That's correct. Thank you very much, Bwana President, for that remark and call out, of course, to all the necessary stakeholders. Faris Jane, Bwana Chairperson,
Yes.
ongea na watu wako wa Mount Kenya and also to the government, if you may.
I will start. I will want to pick it from where the question you asked, the thing you told Biashara to do. You told him to encourage people.
What now? Answer and encouragement.
I want to take it from there.
Okay.
I want to say that to our members out there and to other students out there, I know this time feels like you are left, you are all alone in the wilderness. You feel that everything is in a limbo, but we are here. This is why you gave us these positions, so that we can use them to speak on your behalf and to air your grievances in a better way. I would want to say that, Richard, it's good that they know that as sisi kama MKUSA, we have already initiated tumetuma barua ya kwanza, because we were also asking the CS maneno ya National Skills and Funding Board, National Skill Funding Council, whereby they want to integrate HELB and TVET in one thing. So we have already sent the first letter. We are seeking to sit down with the CS so that we can have more engagement. And I just want to encourage them that when I was first admitted at the Technical University of Kenya to do a Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, I was very shocked. The government that told me to go and do that course, later came back and told me that the course I'm doing, it's not accredited. So you can imagine, you're in first year and you're being told that this course that you have started so hard probably to come and pursue here, it's not recognized by the government.
And it's the same government that admitted you
exactly.
to do that course.
So I just want to encourage somebody, and we were so lost that time. I was still young in first year, and wakati tulifika that year, we tried what we could do, and I with together with some leaders, we tried to seek a sit down with the CS back then. We tried to have a sit down with the president, and some of us we even have tried to have a sit down with the university and the vice chancellor, and some of us, myself included, we were suspended because of agitating for accreditation. But we were suspended for 2 years. But right now, as I speak to you, I'll graduate from Technical University of Kenya, knowing that very well that the course that the government called me there to pursue is accredited. So that is a story of hope.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I wish I could maybe have an audience to clap for you, but I'm sure they're clapping at home.
I know. So that is a story of hope. So what we are telling you is that me, Washira, and the rest of the leaders, we are here for you. I know you feel like you are lost, but ile power mulitupatia, we are going to make sure that tumeitumia vizuri. We got your back, and tutapigana mpaka we make sure that everybody feels welcome and feels that they are comfortable in their own country, because we can't have a generation whereby before even they go out there in the job market, before we send them out there to drive the agenda of the country, before we send them out there to shape the future of this country, they are already paralyzed with fear. So we can't have such people. Na sasa unajua naongea kwa kipole, somebody might think that when it comes to comrades power that ati nitaongea hivyo.
Wasione Simba amenyeshewa.
Exactly. Those who know me know that I like first of all having a sit down and exploring other diplomacy. Discussion. Exactly. But if that fails, majama, tutafanya ile kitu tulifanya Technical University of Kenya. And I know that each one of you will feel welcome in this country, will feel that they belong in this country.
Okay.
So nyinyi mstance,
right.
Sisi tuko na nyinyi bana.
Asante sana. Of course, that is their sentiment and call out to their respective institutions and also organizations. So here niko na mtu anaitwa Maite Jones, anasema business courses is very important for self-employment and entrepreneurship. Thank you very much for tuning in, Maite, and also giving us that sentiment. Tuambie mahali una watch from, we'd also love that. Nesta Monstix anasema nambona guest anajam. I think that's to you.
Cool down Washira.
Yeah, tulia. Tunaelewa.
I'm very cool.
Ametulia. So thank you for tuning in, and Ajajam is just trying, as is in his role as president, he's passionate about the issues of the students in TVET institutions. Curriculum should focus on vocational training. That's Maite Jones as well. And also here, good morning, Chairman Faris Jane Kimani wa Washira. Amekutag na majina yako yote ya serikali na ya Facebook. That is Mwadime Nicholas Senior. Thank you for tuning in there. And of course, we'll be reading more of those comments even as we go on with the show. Here I see also there's a Fishtown KE, and some great conversation waku. This is Fishware from Nairobi, Kenya. Asante sana. Fishtown KE from tuning in. I know you're locked in from the City of Angels in the environs of Nairobi. Asante sana, guys, for that conversation. You just mentioned hapo mwisho about that HELB consolidation. And we realized we didn't even talk about that, but because of time, it's I think we've spent quite some minutes here. I'm hoping that I will get some time with you out of your busy schedule managing students and comrade power. Pia mkuje tuongelee when, if they will implement this HELB, consolidating it, of course, with TVET institutions. We get to also discuss the implications and what kind of steps can be taken, right?
Yes.
Asante sana for coming in through, guys.
Najua sasa Richard hujatupatia hata dakika mbili tusalimiane. Washira anaweza tupwa mawe na watu wake.
Salimia watu wa Mkusa na Washira president. Salimia watu wako. Alafu tutoke kwa hii segment.
Sasa thank you so much Richard and the entire management ya KUTV. We are grateful that you called us here today to discuss issues of the students. We don't take it for granted. And I can tell huyo mtu anasema guest amejam. I know when it comes to issues of the comrades, they are very sacred to Ashira and also I. And this is why unaona kama amejam. It's just that because these are issues that are very sacred to him. So nikimalizia, niseme I would like to say hi to our guys, our members at Mkusa. Niwasalimie sana. Na wakuwe represented by the president of Technical University of Kenya, anaitwa Kirera Mushoki, na kiongozi mwingine pale Jaikusa anaitwa Cindy. Wasalimike sana wote. Asanteni.
Superb. President Washira.
Thank you very much. I want to say hi to Mwandime akiwa kule akituwatch. Say hi to Kiambu Youth Council members. I know they are watching me, starting from the SecGen and the deputy. I also want to say hi to all the students that are pursuing various diploma courses in various TVET institutions in the nation, and also special thanks to all the TVET presidents. That is the 9 national polytechnic president from Kisumu to Mombasa Technical, Kisumu and Mombasa National Polytechnic. And finally, I want to say hi to Tabasamu Washira and her daughter. I also want to say hi to those are sent greetings. I also want to say hi to Timothy from working at Kenya Library in Nairobi. He said he's a regular. He watches the show. He streams the show as he's driven to work.
Nice.
And nice. He know you better than I even an insight about you.
Okay.
I also want to say hi to Washira Kimuhu in Nyeri and the team that he's reading, and all other youth student readers that are there, waking up every day trying to give solutions to the challenges that we are facing in this nation.
All right.
Thank you very much. Asante kwa kutuhost.
Thank you very much as well, President Kimani Wachira, who's the president of TVET Students Association, and also accompanied here by Faris Jane, who's the chairperson, national chairman of the Mount Kenya University and Students Association. Nimepata correct? Colleges and Universities
Yes.
Students Association.
Yes.
I think I got that correct. And we'll be having this conversation another time. If you missed it, please ensure unaangalia YouTube. Just a few minutes after the show, we'll be uploading this conversation. So if there's something that you missed, anything that you want clarification on, utaangalia tu hapo and you leave your comments. We'll forward them to the relevant people that I've just talked to here. Now, I'm going to be taking a short break, but remember, Kenyatta University has a career week from the 28th of January to the 3rd of February, and the theme, digital disruption, the future of work in a hybrid work. We just came from speaking about the future of work just a bit there, even as we looked at the business courses in TVET institutions. But this is going to be the theme of Kenyatta University Career Week, and I'm having a conversation with the director of this program at Kenyatta University. The Career Week is it's an annual premier event that integrates productive interaction between students and corporate organizations, which are always here on the ground at Kenyatta University premises. So that conversation is coming to you. If you are interested, and if you're a Kenyatta University student, you need to know how exactly can you transition into the world of work, and what kind of digital disruption is affecting work, and what will the future of work look like. So those are the main key focus areas of our conversation coming up next. If you have any questions, remember to send them through to our social media sites and also accounts at KU TV Kenya. I will be right back.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pipopa si vuguvugu. Pipopa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
My name is James Mbaro. I'm the managing director at Genovation. Genovation is a software house, is an innovation hub. However, we have currently and of late we have our latest system, which is Jarida. Jarida is a visitor management system. It's also a guest book management system, so where people can sign in that they have come to see you and what they have come to do with it. It's also a service offering system. So for example, those companies that are offering services like lunch, and you need to know who has actually come in for lunch, what time do they come in for lunch, what do they have, and how much you need to compensate the service provider.
Lola ni programu inayokupa fursa ya kutizama video zozote pindi tu unapokuwa na nafasi. Hadithi za kukupa motisha, drama, maisha ya vyuo vikuu, teknolojia, masuala ya jamii, kuzuru maeneo tofauti, spoti, burudani na zaidi. Pata programu ya Lola sasa kwenye rununu yako kwa yote unayohitaji.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Sasa ni bora zaidi, mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Soko moko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Yangu. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
KUTV Kenya is still streaming live to you. This is KUTV Rise Today, the best morning breakfast show on your television stations. If you're not tuning in while you're in your house watching your television, you can walk out, tune into our Facebook live stream right there. If you need the link, tag me at Richard_OKENYE and ask wapi link ya Facebook. I will send it to you. You don't need to have a Facebook account, by the way, to be tuned into this live stream. As I can see, there are people already here na wanataka ni waangalie in the comment sections. Remember, we're also on YouTube, so KUTV Kenya Live, ukiingia pale YouTube, you'll be able to see what we are doing all the way to 10 in the morning. Nesta Monstix still tuned in. Thank you very much. Here I see as well, there's Gikiri Ed amerudi, looking sharp, Sir Richard. Asante sana, Sir Ed Gikiri. Let's get the money. Of course, we're getting the money, but also we're getting the conversations that are relevant for us to get the money. Frida Wakarani, or Frida W. Karani, tuned in from Embu. Everyone should listen to what the youth have to say and the purpose to reach out to them. Youth na comrades wanasahaulika sana. So I think that's a reaction to the conversation we just had with the president of the TVET institutions and Association of Students, and also the chairperson, the national chairperson for Mount Kenya College and University Students Associations. Those abbreviations are quite a mouthful, but yeah, you get the gist of it. That's the conversation we just had, and of course I'm seeing reactions here. Awush Banadi Lord, good morning, tuned in from Nairobi Kasarani. Biashara Tuesday iko ndani kabisa. Asante sana for tuning in. Don't go too far. Also Maina Masharia anasema ako tuned into the show. Salimia engineer sijui kama ni mimi ama ni wale wametoka, but huyu amesalimika, au wengine tutakuja kujua baadaye. The Kenyatta University Career Week is here on the 20th of January all the way to 3rd of February. We want to know what kind of activities are happening there, as you can see on the screen. Of course, this is an annual event that involves students and also corporate organizations in a very productive, interactive session. And this year, the event has a theme of digital disruptions, the future of work in a hybrid world. If you have been hiding under a rock for the past 4 years, you know that digitization has become such a great, you don't know that digitization has become such a great conversation since the days of COVID-19, you know, disrupting work and also purposing us to take a look at what technology can help us in solving some of the problems that we have been facing and that we are currently facing as a result of the various factors that are going on in the world of work. So here I have Dr. Margaret Muturi, who is the Director, Career Development and Mentoring Programs at Kenyatta University. She's the one, of course, part of the greater team that is spearheading this Career Week at Kenyatta University. We're going to get in depth in what is expected and what exactly this Career Week and the theme means for students and the world of work. But before we get into all those details, let's get to hear how she's doing. How are you, Dr.?
I'm very fine, Richard.
Yes.
And very, very grateful for the invitation to KU TV studios in this Biashara Tuesday program to tell more about Kenyatta University Career Week 2023.
All right.
Yeah.
You are in your capacity, of course, as the Director of Career Development and Mentoring Programs at Kenyatta University. You've interacted with matters of career development for quite some time now. What is your role there now as Director at this mentoring program at Kenyatta University?
Thank you so much. I'm here because of Career Week 2023, and that is just an annual event that happens within the Center for Career Development and Mentoring Program. And I would want to say that in our role as a directorate is in 3 facets. First and foremost is to make sure that we get students that are employable. So it is to direct and guide the students in terms of careers out there. We are supposed also to help students, mentor them in their various ways so that they are able to fit within the university. So mentoring is our role, and we are also supposed to be in charge of the Growing Readers program, which is given to our 4th-year graduates or graduates that have completed their academic life at the university and they are ready to go out there so that they can fit in the world of work. That means improving their employability skills. So basically, career development and mentoring programs is to make the student ready for the job market, bridging that gap that has already existed for a very long time.
All right.
Yes.
That is a very key, of course, role there that you're performing for the students as they transition from academia into the world of work. For the first time, for most of them, that is around the time when they're trying to gain some employment. So can you tell us more about because we're here to, of course, talk about the Career Week that's happening between 20th of January to the 3rd of February. Can you tell us a bit more about the theme of this year? I already read it out to people, digital disruption, the future of work in a hybrid world. How does this relate to the current job market? And what was the thought process behind having this as a theme of this year?
Yes, thank you, Richard, for that question. And first of all, it's to thank the students who are also spearheading this particular event. They're actually the ones that came with this theme, which is digital disruption, the future of work in a hybrid world. And when you look at the space that we are in today, there is too much technological development that is almost overtaking what used to be the traditional way of doing the work. So in the job market out there, what we are referring to as disruptions are the transformations that have come as a result of technological developments that have taken place within a very short time. So it's like there is such a huge boom of new innovations, and therefore industries are developing new products, new services in a pace that you cannot really fathom. And for that, then in the job market, you find there are changes, and people will need to adapt to change. If, for example, I can just talk about what happened with COVID-19. COVID-19 came, and people, because of the technological developments, were easily able to adapt by having products that were there before, but now getting ready market. For example, of course, Google Meet and Zoom did not come before COVID. They were there, but they did not have customers as such. But now when COVID came, you realize that the dynamics of how we work completely changed, because there was the lockdown, and products that had no market started getting market, and the market overshot, such that now there was encouragement to be developed similar innovations in that field. So basically, the way now, from then, you can attest to me, today people are working from home, something that is not of the past. We are seeing people having complete meetings online. We didn't have spaces where you could hold, for example, in some of the industries, like 5,000 people. We have now online meetings holding even 1,000. Even universities who were incapacitated by maybe having infrastructure to accommodate so many students, today you can teach 10,000 students in one lecture.
Zoom call.
Definitely.
Right.
And these are the changes that we are seeing happening in the job market, and they are changing everything. This is what we are calling disruptions. Yes, but disruption probably in the positive way, because they are trying to answer the customer needs. So we are saying that these technologies are centered on the customer. And in order to keep in that pace, that is the theme, disruptions, and the future of work in the hybrid world. So we are talking about that hybrid, where we are digital and
also
analog.
or analog vile wanasema.
Yes, analog vile
wanasema. Analog to digital.
That is it. And therefore, a student today is not like a student when I went to school. A student today need to know how to operate in both spaces.
That's a very good way to put it. And also, like that you said, disruption is positive. Doesn't necessarily, when people hear disruption, they're like, so we have no work, it's all disrupted, it's negative. It can also be, positive disruption, in that we progress forward, even as technologies create new ways of interaction and also of working. Now, as this being the theme, of course, of the KU Career Week, how do you ensure now that the event is beneficial for both students and all the corporates that are going to be in attendance?
Okay, this is a good question, because it just goes back to why Career Week. I want to say that Career Week is one of the major events that Kenyatta University have in a calendar year, and we start organizing it quite early, bearing in mind that the main goal is to make sure that we advertise ourselves as a university, engaging the future customers, because we are careful that we have customers out there, and this is the high school students. And these high school students, we believe as a university there's something that we can offer them, so that we can appeal to them or endear to them to join our university. You know that this university is one of the biggest universities with almost every other facility, and most of the courses and a huge number of courses, or a variety of them, fitting different choices of different students and reading to different career pathways. So basically, when we invite them so that they can come and experience university life. We can come and guide them on the career choices, they can make. And in order to do that, we help them also choose the right courses for their careers. So that is the reason that we invite them. And this time round, we are expecting over 15,000 students. And that's not a small number. I don't know whether you have any university or somewhere you have had that kind of number in one place. You got to know. And in this event, all our schools are presenting. So they have one one-on-one interaction with the professors in those schools, in the lecturers, to guide them on whatever course. So if a student is interested in medicine, it's possible to get people who will tell you, this is what you need. This is what there are the opportunities in this field. Because we are not a know-it-all at Career Center. And then this is engineering, this is what this is ICT. The openings that are there, and so on and so on, and encouraging them that they are able to do it. Again, they are able to see the facilities as well. You know, we have a lot of facilities that will help equip these students.
Right. So they get to experience that uni life before they, of course, get to uni, even for those students who want to join. Yeah. That's correct. Okay, so can you share some of the most then successful episodes or some of the most successful outcomes from previous career weeks? I know this has been there for some years.
Okay,
so far.
I just mentioned one thing that we are doing on the Saturday, the 28th, and that was the high school day. I did not mention the very important aspects of this career week.
Okay.
On Monday, we have the HR forum for our very students right here at Kenyatta University. And I just hope that they will come, because we have invited guests that can tell them about the world of work out there, the soft skills that they need, and whatever it is that they can be prepared for as they join the world of work. We have also the Innovation Day. The Innovation Day is the first time that it is appearing on our calendar. And this is, as you know, due to the limitations in job market, innovation is everything. Because once you innovate and you're able to come up with a startup and then a company, you're not only employing yourself, but you're employing a lot more people. So that is answering to the job market issues. And for sure, this is a very key event. So we are partnering with Chandaria Business Center, and it's going to be a big event. Yes.
So
and then
high school day, HR forum, and then Innovation Day.
Yeah, the Innovation Day. And that is not all. We have now the public lectures that will continue on Wednesday, and then on Thursday it is the official opening. And now the 2 days, Thursday and Friday, we have exhibitions from the various companies. We have over 50 of them. They are coming to exhibit, and our students have a big chance to interact and build networks and collaborations with those industry. So basically, I'm saying that it is a big event, and I'm also going to say that even the people that we have invited, people that are going to impact the lives of students. For example, we have the Honorable Justice Martha Koome. Martha Koome is a girl that was raised like ordinary like us, and now she's the Chief Justice of the nation. Republic. Right. And she's here to inspire the law students and all of us, and even women for that matter. And then we have Cabinet Secretary Owaro in ICT, Mr. Owaro in
the ICTCS, right?
Yes, he's going to come to grace the Innovation Day. So we are just talking of an event like no other. This particular Career Week 2023.
Right. That is a great lineup of events from the high school day to the official opening, of course, including the public, the HR forum, actually. Seeing a question here from Real Nesta, who's saying, what do you do if you're being told your career is saturated? Do you change? Ama tuendelea tu kungangana, asking for a friend. So I'm guessing this HR forum will be a really great place for him or for people with such kind of concerns to come and get answers.
Yes, people say the careers are saturated. If you have already taken the career, I can tell you that's not the end of it. Today, it is dependent on how well you are going to sharpen your skills. Now, the dynamics we are talking about and the disruptions that can give advantage even to people who have taken careers that are saturated, because what you need to do is that you just need to go ahead and adapt the technology. Today, if you are going to do business, you know, we have apps that can do the accounting and bring those things together. But if you want to go to business, you want to go to management and read the management, then you have to adopt to understand the big data. You have to understand artificial intelligence. You have to understand all these digital
Jargon.
Not jargon, digital opportunities, so
Okay.
that you can align yourself to the job market. There's no career that is saturated as far as I'm concerned with the digital world. Remember, we trained people and we trained them for the particular jobs that were available in market for that time. These jobs are becoming redundant. Look at what is happening in those big digital companies like Google and the
Amazon.
others. They are in down tens of thousands of workers. Why?
That's true.
Just because of an innovation that came the other day. That is ChatGPT.
Yes.
Is it ChatGPT?
ChatGPT, yes.
Where is doing everything, and they want to partner with that, and now they are saying they are going to rehire so that they can get the people work in strategic areas. And I guess this will be definitely artificial intelligence. So the people now, that person who is complaining now should just align themselves and start looking, what is this artificial intelligence? How can I align? And I'm telling you, it will be a hot cake in Google, in Amazon. So there's nothing like what many are.
As a concern that is saturated to
and even they are given to believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can pivot, as she said there, you can pivot, get to learn what kind of digital disruption is happening, and also adjust also
Take
and
advantage.
adapt.
Take advantage actually of those opportunities.
Okay, that is great. So now that is, of course, some of those things you've said there which are going to happen in the career week. How does the career week help then prepare students for the hybrid world of work? We know that, that's what the theme is about, digital disruption. When they come there, they get to interact with these corporate organizations. Will this career week be now what sets them ready for this hybrid world?
Definitely, it is part of what will set them, because as I told you earlier, in the Directorate of Career Development and Mentoring Program, we have the Growing Leaders Program that is a short course that takes place within a semester. That is exactly 3 months. This is a certificate course fully sponsored by the university, offered to the final year students. And the idea behind this course is to make sure that students are exposed to the skills that they need to bridge the studentship and the job market, so that they are readily able to filter in the job market easily. Now, that is what we do. In the Career Directorate, we also link students to internships. We also do attachment for them, that is, link them to industry where they are attached. And all these aspects are preparing students to get into the job market. Now, when it comes now to this career, it's the hallmark of the whole thing. So that now we have the industry come now here. We send them to industry, now the industry is here. We are able to bring it closer to the students where they can interact and give an opportunity to every student who is willing to come and do it and listen, learn, ask questions, and know how to align himself as he prepared to with his university life, and even those who are exiting from the university to the job market. And also ask questions on the challenges, and they will get more information on what skills, because skills are dynamic, as I've told you now. They are the artificial intelligence, the robotics, they are now the key thing in some of those industries. So the students will now come on one-on-one and will ask, I've done finance, what am I supposed to do? I've done this, with industry. And then they will also have a share of that information and also be exposed to that particular skill. So basically that is why Career Week is here, and that is why we have even those 2 days of innovation. So there is knowledge through those public lectures, and there is also that basic interaction, building networks, with the industry.
Those are some of the ways I think then students can prepare themselves for that career week. Come with questions already, maybe places of work they are interested in. Are there other ways you think they can best prepare for the career week?
The best preparation is actually to be there. Yes, to be there and participate. You being prepared psychologically that this is my event as a student. Actually, this is a student-led event. In fact, within our organizing committee, it is just read by the student. And
I was looking here, that it's a whole students committee.
Yeah, it's a whole students committee.
Right.
And for us, because we want to build those skills in students, we give them the readership to read the career week organization, and we back it with the support that we need to back them up with.
Right.
Yes.
This year it's digital, digital disruption. How do you see the career week evolving in the next few years to also make sure that it's staying relevant? I love that this year still taking care of that digital disruption, which is a very big conversation, even from the president himself to all other sectors of the Kenyan economy. In the next 2 years, is there other ways you see you're going to evolve to stay relevant and keep updated with what is happening in the world of work?
Definitely, yes, because as I've told you, it is all about employability to our students. And if that is the case, then we have to keep on engaging out there and knowing how things are evolving and changing. And likewise, we are going to change the same way, so that we provide ourselves and our students opportunities to fit in the labor market.
Right.
So as the labor market changes, then Career Week also changes in terms of our theme and in terms of our engagement, even with the corporate, with the industry, and anyone else that comes to
I'm sure there's also
participate.
Alumnus from Kenyatta University who come back to, of course, give their insights on what happened out there. Maybe to encourage those who are still studying the same courses to also look at the opportunities that are presented to them.
Yeah.
It's a very good way to do it. Is it open to the public, or is this just a Kenyatta University event and high schools?
This event is open to the public, but just to go a little bit behind, it was said the alumni. We do invite alumni, and for this particular event, we have invited Enoch Scoria. I know you know him.
Yes.
This is a student who actually did laboratory medical laboratory science. I was his lecturer at one time, and then he just disappeared into
the world.
into the world of media. Yes, and he has been a successful media person, you know that.
Yes.
And that tells you how dynamic a human being can be and how adaptable a human being can be. And therefore, for the students sometimes who feel like they have taken different courses and they feel like there is no jobs wherever they are, well, if you join with your knowledge plus your talent, then you can make it in
I
life.
myself I'm a student of I was a student of telecommunication under the physics department at Kenyatta University, and we are here doing media, so
sure.
I think it's also a good show that there's a broad range of opportunities for people to take advantage of.
Yeah, you just have to think outside the box and see what you are best at, and then work towards that.
Right.
And you'll become successful.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
so the question was
whether it's open to the public.
Wow,
Right.
this is open to the public,
Okay.
because it's a very big event, and we are inviting people to come in and see what we have. We are inviting all the students there from various schools. Just come and get an open day for you to learn all that you can about the career and about the university program, experience university life, and of course this will entice you, or it will motivate you to join a university. I know there are so many opportunities outside there. There are so many universities outside there, but I'm appealing to all those students out there, the schools, the teachers, and so on, to just come to Kenyatta University and have our experience.
Right.
And you'll not forget about it.
Right, you'll
Yes.
definitely not forget about it. Kenyatta University is one of very few institutions that offer the kind of resources, and also even we have to say it's a beautiful place to be in.
Definitely.
Just walk around along the pathways and see the trees and good parks where you can get to relax. There's an arboretum. Get to see how university life is like. So the Career Week is beginning on the 28th of January, that is on Saturday, and that's starting with the high school day. We're going to have that on the screen for you to have a look at that kind of program. The 28th of January, Saturday, high school day. The HR forum is happening on Monday, the 30th. Innovation Day comes to you on Tuesday, as you can see there as well, 31st of January. Public lectures on Wednesday, 1st of February, and then corporate exhibitions from Thursday to Friday. So make sure you are keeping a note of what is happening on which day, and come through and interact with all of us, including the KU TV fraternity as well. So it's important also, if you're interested in media, you can come through and get to speak to some of us and know how exactly to go about it. The theme, digital disruption, the future of work in a hybrid world. I think that's self-explanatory, but if you missed any of that definition from Daktari herself, you can check out this conversation. It will be there on YouTube. Kenyatta University students who were not aware, I'm sure most of them are, but if you're not aware of the career development and mentoring program at Kenyatta University, please make sure you're looking for Dr. Margaret Muturi, who's the director there, and she'll be able to guide you through other career opportunities, even outside of Career Week.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for coming through and creating time for us.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here this morning. I'm very sure that every student who is watching today will benefit from the opportunities that is being provided for them. They can look into our program, even if they are attending classes, and choose those forums where they are actually going to benefit. So please come one, come all. We are ready for you, and you will not be the same again. You will learn things that normally you will not learn them anywhere, from the horse's mouth. Life experiences, challenges people have gone through, what people have tried, and then if you're one person who is not trying anything, you'll be motivated to try something different and incorporate it to make your career better. So most welcome the students. I also want to welcome staff. Most of the time staff do not attend this event.
They think it's a student's event.
They think that it's a student's event, but I believe also the staff will benefit, and especially when they get one-on-one with the industry, because they can build networks, they can build collaboration at a different level from where the students can. So I'm also welcoming our staff to this particular event, interact with the people that we've invited, and also come for the exhibitions, because you'll be able to see the diverse and where the industry is headed, and therefore we can be able to change our notes as we deliver material to our students. So this is just to welcome everybody. We welcome the corporate, we welcome the industry. Let's feel at home in Kenyatta University during this event.
All right, that's what's happening 28th of January to the 3rd of February. I hope I'll see you there. I'm going for a short break, and then I'll be back to read your feedback and go on with matters of business here on KU TV Rise Today. Remember, the hashtag to use is hashtag Biashara Tuesday. Tag me at Richard_OKENYE. I'll be right back.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Access to knowledge,
repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
What is this magic? I need that magic.
Sasa ni bora zaidi, mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Sokomoko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Yangu.
What Mkulima Yangu does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Yangu. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani.
Uo yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nena finira chechemekwe. Uo yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha.
Yani unavyoona basi niko kipwani pwani tu.
Wali unapopika inatakana uko half cooked.
Bagari. Niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, magavazi ya Gede.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe?
Welcome to Engine, an educational show for all the family. Get ready for some exciting learning and fun teaching.
How does a plane fly over the sea? How do the planets float so weightlessly? It's technology. Science, you and me. We're learning every day. Engine leads the way.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi kukufuku, pepo tupopoa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vilevile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Tuesday tunakula usiku. Tuachane na break kwanza, tuende lunch. Chapo. Ndio. Kama mokimo.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Siki nice to nice weke story. Kata maji pia shada liko na sio nikosa msupo si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe. Najua ni
Big up, Zade, ukiwa adriva big up, sis, big up, shows, mama, big up, oya, wase wote, okay, my principal, big up.
Biashara Tuesday, hashtag Biashara Tuesday on all the social platforms that you are using. How has it been so far? It's been a marathon, yeah? We've had quite some intense conversations here from the TVET Association's president and the chairman of the Mount Kenya Colleges and University Students Associations, of course, speaking on that directive by the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Education, CS Machogu, who said that business courses should be phased out in the next 3 years in all TVET institutions in the country, and this is in favor of STEM courses. So they gave out their sentiments. They've already written a letter to the president and also writing another one to the ministry to ensure they get sit down and air out their grievances and any consultative meetings they might need to give out, of course, their alternative solutions or any other way in which the smooth transition can be done in phasing out of these courses. So that was the initial conversation, and then we just got off air here with the director of the Career Development and Mentorship Program at Kenyatta University, and she already told us of the Career Week that is happening here at the Kenyatta University grounds from the 28th to the 3rd of February, from this Saturday to next week of Friday. There's a lot that is prepared for the people who are interested in this Career Week. Of course, the Career Week provides students the opportunity to find potential jobs or internship, and also to interact in a very productive manner with all the corporates that will be present, and also the Kenyatta University alumnus. For the guys who are interested in STEM courses, and of course that being the biggest conversation right now, digital disruption. That's what is going to be the theme of this year's Career Week at Kenyatta University. So if you're interested in matters of technology, science, innovation, engineering, mathematics, there's going to be actually an innovation day just there on the third day of the career week. So we come through and see some of those innovations from Kenyatta University that you've not seen. Students that have gotten awards and have done quite amazing work in the world of technology. Get to interact with them and also learn and exactly what to do. If you have high school students, there's a high school day, which is actually the first day, high school career day on the Saturday, the 28th. Come through with your students na pia wajue how uni life looks like, and they get to enjoy Kenyatta University. It's actually quite a beautiful campus to be in. It's one of a kind. So those are the kinds of conversations we've had so far, but right now we're going to be going into the papers and see what is developing in the world in the past few days, and especially from yesterday to today. Right now, hot topics, of course, here on the dailies. I'll be joined by Zachary Mbeke, who will be giving me an insight into what he thinks on his side will be the influence of some of these stories in the world of business. So if you have any daily, if you have any question, anything that you want to know on the headlines, any contribution, continue to send that on our social platforms at KUTV Kenya. We are streaming live, by the way, Facebook and YouTube. We're back in a few. All right, the newspaper review here. The Daily Nation on the headlines, Battle Royale. Battle Royale. Here is a face of Opposition Chief Raila Odinga, President William Ruto on the right side. Of course, I'm just going to read the quotes there. Opposition Chief Raila Odinga yesterday saying that we ask our people to say no to the UDA regime. This regime and its unfortunate and unfair policies must be resisted, and the resistance starts today. Okay, yesterday, right? President William Ruto on his end, I want to tell them to forget about any handshake. The government is not going to be blackmailed to serve the interests of a few people and their families. The battle royale there, Azimio claiming that Odinga won the election, but it was stolen in favor of William Ruto. This is a story that is spread out on page 6 and page 7 of the Daily Nation, and we're going to be, of course, having a look at some of those Azimio stands and demands and see whether they hold any weight or hold any waters. On the Standard, there, Raila's bombshell. Opposition leader says Azimio will not recognize the government, calling for President William Ruto's resignation, and he also demands a record of the last elections to be made public. But the president says the time for threats and impunity is over. This is also a headline story that is there, page 6, page 7, and page 8 of the Standard. The Business Daily is prioritizing business, and on top there is Safaricom. The shares have shot up after a mysterious investor pumped in some money into this stock that was not performing really well. Their lowest, of course, performance there being at 20 bob as of last week. And then that is last week on Tuesday. And I've been asking people to invest in Safaricom for the longest. And then on Wednesday, someone else invested money here, and the telco's value jumped on a very extreme high from 4.6 million to 57 million in terms of trading that was happening on that floor on Wednesday. Mystery investors' purchase of Safaricom shares stops the plunge. We're going to look at what exactly happened that tanked Safaricom shares, but also at the bottom of the Business Daily, Ruto's administration is going to borrow 3.6 trillion in the first term. Going to hear what Zach has to say about this, but let me introduce him to the show for the first time. Karibu Zachary.
Thank you very much. How are you? I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually doing really well. No one has asked me so far. Yeah, watu wangu wa show. I'm not pointing fingers to anyone, but yeah, I'm doing well. Welcome to the show. You are a fourth-year student.
Yes.
At Kenyatta University.
Yes.
You've been involved in politics
yes.
Before. Maybe that background before. I see there's a lot of politics here on the dailies, so that when we get to your political tone, people understand where you're coming from. You have been involved in students' politics. How was that, and in what role?
Of course, before even I came to campus. It is one of the dreams that I was aiming for. Then when I joined at Kenyatta University, since first year, I joined politics. At first year level, I was actively supporting those who are vying. Then second year was to vie, but COVID-19 wrapped everything off. So I vied at my third year. During those time, the politics was tense because everyone wanted to join into the field of politics. Back then in Nyayo 3, of course, there is a time that politics is about wave and making friendship. So I had an opponent called Nyabuto, but towards the end, towards the election, I think 1 week to election, he withdrew because he foresaw how the wave was going. Yeah. So that is how I got into KUSA with too much expectation to serve comrades. And now because of debates and other things, now I decided to go for the race of speakership. I was very naive those time.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that maybe speakership race is also like the politics. So
how it happened in the national platform.
Yeah. So too much PR, too much too much populism ideas. But now at that particular point, I think Akongo was smarter than all of us. I really agree. He outshined us, and now he became the speaker.
Right.
But so far so good. I learned a lot during those particular political time because I'm political in nature, and maybe in future, through God's grace, maybe I will join the political arena. Just
so you were in first year when Joshua Aika was president?
I was in first year when Joshua Aika was finishing his term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. That's when you picked up. Of course, you said as before you came in, you already were aware of student politics and you were intent on coming in.
I already followed the politics of Were. I already... and
you studied the...
Yeah. Because,
right.
Again...
But you didn't get Were in...
I didn't get Were, but...
How do you know of him?
His wave, like for me, since primary, I had no course, but I had Kenyatta University in my mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you could have asked me in class 1, I used to say that I'll become a member of parliament. Yeah. So, but I used to say also that I must go to Kenyatta University. So I was following the politics of Kenyatta University as early as possible.
I wish you'd seen the wave of Were at its helm, but it's interesting that you're already aware of how that went.
Yeah.
Okay, so now 4th year, no politics.
At 4th year, I decided now to focus more on debate because I also know that as a member of parliament, you should go to serve outside when you have quite number of ideas so that you can help your people. So I decided to focus more of debate. But again, in the working government currently, UBA, I served also. I was helping out in the secretariat level. Yeah.
The working government of Kenyatta University.
Yeah. UBA, the current.
If you say the working government, it will be a Kenya Kwanza government for all we know. Yeah. All right. So that's your current activities in and around Kenyatta University. You really intend on becoming a member of parliament?
Very true.
From which constituency, so that tuje mapema watu watambue MP wao mapema?
So far so good. I want to do my politics back then at home. That is same constituency. What I want to say that before I see the gates of heaven, I will have to see the gates of parliament, and maybe who knows, maybe the governor of Kisumu one time.
All the best to you, bro. What was saying? This is your guy. Yeah, try him. You never know. Let's get into the papers now. And I think you have the Standard with you. I'll do the Daily Nation, right?
Yes.
Here, Azimio claims Odinga won the election, but it was stolen in favor of Ruto. They're calling it a battle royale. Is it still a battle? Or I thought we are done. The battle is over. Or the battle is over, is finished, but the war is not yet done.
The most interesting parts with politics is that politics, you must always find a way of you remaining relevant for the next your entire life. So even though the elections are done, but I feel personally, like my personal opinion is like His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga have to find a way in which he remains relevant. That's why you are seeing him. He has just like for me, I feel like this was just a start of a new political regime. He must remain relevant. His people must know that he's on the ground. That's why he had to call for that particular Kamkunji meeting. That's why they are quoting those particular things. And
could there be trouble in his camp such that it necessitates him to go into a new political direction, given that, you see, we saw some of the independent independent MPs moving over to the Kenya Kwanza side, some on the Azimio side, of course, already declaring their allegiance to the Kenya Kwanza team. Yesterday, I don't know what kind of conversation they were having, but the Jubilee members of parliament were also with President William Ruto just before this Kamukunji event. Could that be also a reason? But given that he came back from South Africa, I will point fingers outside the country.
Of course, I have to say that much has been happening within Azimio, because again, if you look at the UDA government, they have been trying to absorb a lot, even from backyard of Raila Amolo himself. Nyanza, we've seen very strong leaders now currently joining hands towards the Ruto's regime, and that is why you find that it is now very hard for His Excellency Raila, and that's why he have to also to come and fight back. But again, secondly, you also have to maintain that particular wave in the ground, knowing that very well this is happening just a week after His Excellency William Ruto going to Nyanza and even starting some serious programs there.
Right.
Yeah, and that particular welcoming that no one was waiting to see. So particularly I feel like that is particularly the battle that is going on, and that is why Raila have had to fight back. Yeah.
Right. Here he says that the 4 commissioners, which is also a story there at the front of the Daily Nation, the Cherera 4, which is currently an ongoing inquiry at the Parliament buildings, in which they are taking a look at these 4 commissioners who split from the initial team of IEBC to go and say that they are not going to be part and parcel of the declaration of the August polls in regards to the presidential results. But here, in his remark, of course, Mr. Odinga, or His Excellency former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, saying yesterday that there was a cartel formed within IEBC to the exclusion of the 4 new commissioners, and disregarded what Kenyans had voted for, which is, according to him, of course, his win in the 2022 presidential elections. Just to stick maybe a bit on that issue of IEBC, do we still have problems within this Electoral and Boundaries Commission enough to warrant Raila Odinga to call public engagement forums to see Kenyans who sort of put their allegiance on these 4, who, according to one of the IEBC former commissioners, that is Gulie, saying that they were holding secret meetings. They might have been influenced by parties which are allegedly from the Azimio side, but also the Azimio side saying that the Kenya Kwanza team already had their footing inside IEBC even before these elections were declared, or even before we went to the polls. Is the issue IEBC, or is the issue that's just 2 people who need power?
The truth is that from my personal view, that even if we were supposed to take the leader of Azimio, Raila Amolo Odinga, to his best, and let us now blame the IEBC. We feel Raila Amolo Odinga has been in this game for a very long time, and now he should also understand how to do this particular game. If he knows that the referees always determines this game earlier, then why is he not also trying to do that particular game? Because the truth is this, if you want to change the democracy of a nation, then you must be in power for you to change it. So it means that if he knows that the only way people get into power is through the crooked mean of the IEBC, then I feel like he should also adopt that. If he comes into power, then he'll change that particular
But he's trying to create electoral reforms. He cannot be, preaching water and drinking wine.
The truth is that you cannot create a reform when you are outside. That is one. But again, secondly, on the issue of Cherera, the IEBC issue, I feel it is something that is really, really drawing us back. If you find out the way IEBC acted, I think it was not professional at all. They were supposed to be professional in nature
and
constitutional, because this particular IEBC is a body that many people are really aiming to look at, and again also the state of a nation in general. So I feel like they were supposed to be professional in nature, but again, the truth is that even if you are supposed to take the Raila's concern in which I think also he raised it in 2013 and also other particular years, and now decide now to follow it, in 2027, even with those things particularly in order, they will also still blame the referee. But again, referee have a lot of work to do, because the loser not the particular loser, person who becomes second in the game will always try to blame the referee.
And say that the referee was not fair. And that was already begun here, as been detailed on the Daily Nation. They're saying that President Ruto, of course, already yesterday actually signed the IEBC Amendment Bill of 2022 into law, and this is setting stage for a reconstitution of the IEBC that will see President William Ruto appoint 7 members to recruit the commission's chairman and 5 other commissioners. Do you feel that he is afraid that maybe even before, I know I really don't like that we get to discuss the next cycle of politics just right after we came out of the previous one, which was a few months ago, but already there's talk of 2027 that President William Ruto is having a hand in the selection of the commissioners in 2027. Could there be another way that we, you have seen how politics in institutions in KU has changed from the time of Were Were to the time of Uber right now. It's a bit of a different structure in how we get to have leaders in power and who gets to be the caretaker of this kind of election. Should there be another way in which the current sitting president isn't involved in the IEBC, or that is not the bone of contention?
I think it is his constitutional mandate to really form the next IEBC body. It is on the constitutional mandate of the president, and even if Raila was the president today, he will still be the one to do it. But again, what always the post that we should be posing right now, that the people who should come to run this particular IEBC body, so the IEBC chairman, they say that they have the same qualification as the chief justice. There is the post that we are posting to them, that these particular people have a role that they should do. So we do just what I can say is that these particular people should always have the aim of the citizen of Kenya at their heart during this particular game. But through that particular commission that is happening, that particular body that will check so that can appoint these particular people in the body, we know that they will be free and fair. And what we are aiming for is that also this particular legislator to have a deep talk in it. And from what I'm seeing in my side, what we are asking the president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, is that he should also put the consideration of his opponents at heart, so that everyone who will partake into this game also feels like they need a presented in that particular commission. Okay. Yeah.
President William Ruto here says that this is just Raila Odinga trying to get a handshake, and we saw it during the former President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term, where for a few weeks here and there we got used to tear gas Mondays, protesting against the cost of living, which is also one of those things that opposition chief Raila Odinga is saying, that the cost of living currently under the Kenya Kwanza regime is hurting Kenyans, and this, according to President William Ruto, is just a means of getting a handshake. Is it? Do you think it is? Will this be just Raila Odinga finding a means to get into the government once more?
I feel like this time around
he's serious.
He's serious, and I hope that he meant his words obviously, that he won't go for handshake, because I feel like each and every political season always come with a new strategy. I think that he cannot use the strategy that he used the last time. But again, he cannot go to handshake with the person that we are foreseeing to be his competitor in the next election. So it's also, I think those words of His Excellency William Samoei Ruto was also just a fight back, but also a blame. But I don't think if His Excellency Raila Odinga can go to handshake right now.
Right. There are very serious allegations that are flying around as well, including the attempt on the life of Chebukati, which is basically an allegation saying that former President Uhuru Kenyatta gave orders for the killing of Chebukati. And in his response there, Mr. Odinga is quoted here saying that if Uhuru wanted to kill Chebukati, what could have stopped him from doing so? Yet he was the commander-in-chief. So, he could have just done it. I don't think I have a comment particularly on that very serious case. But at a glance, this is what Azimio's stands and demands look like, And I think I will go through them. There are just 6, and then we can see what the standard is prioritizing there on the headlines here. So the first one is that the coalition does not recognize President Ruto and his government. Should we move past it? by now? I mean, the elections are out. We already have a president. Do we still need to be going back to the August polls and see whether or truly it was free and fair?
Richard, for the body that recognizes the president, I feel if UN has recognized the president, then that is the president-elect.
Yeah.
Any other things that goes on is political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it doesn't matter who says what.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
This second piece is that the Kenya Kwanza government resigns because it is illegitimate. I don't think that's going to happen, yeah?
Yeah, that one cannot happen.
The third one, Mr. Odinga says he won the election, but it was stolen. Do you think the elections are free and fair? You can pass, it's a very contentious issue.
This is a very contentious issue, but I have to say that according to my own perspective, I feel election is done. We should not now talk about whether it was free or fair. For those who felt otherwise, I feel in 2027
they'll have a chance.
They'll have a chance, and maybe they can also find a way of them winning too. Okay.
All right, so they can wait for their turn, and they already had their say at the Supreme Court. So, the legal mechanisms are there already to pursue if you have any dispute for the election results. All 2022 election records and infrastructure be made public, and the IEBC servers audited. I don't know how long we are going to call for the IEBC servers to be open and audited, but that's his fourth demand and stand. The fifth one, any attempts to reconstitute IEBC to fully involve Kenyans. As you said there, of course, it's already the mandate of the president to select the members who are going to be the ones selecting the commissioners and the chairman, but that is what his stand is. The sixth one, Kenyans to resist policies that have raised the cost of living. And interestingly, in particular, Raila Odinga is calling for Kenyans to take a look at their electricity, bus fare, paraffin, school fees from today, especially on the electricity tokens. Take a very close look at the statements. I'm opening my statement as I read this, and how much go to taxes and how long we are going to live like this. I think for this last statement, I'm just going to hear your opinions on whether this kind of public engagement forums is what we need. We cannot rubbish them completely, because we've seen some results from previous public engagements and some of these forums that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has been holding for quite some time now. So if I look at my KPLC statement from 14th of January, here the amount of money that is being spent on fuel, energy charge, forex charge, EPRA charge, WRA charge, I don't even know some of these abbreviations, inflation adjustment, at least that I know, is more than half of the amount of money that I'm spending to get my electricity tokens, which means I am paying taxes more than I am getting back on the expenditure or kind of the product or service that I'm getting from KPLC. And this is spreading across many other products. Cost of living is going high, and taxes. The Kenya Kwanza government is doubling down on taxation of Kenyans. It's a hustler government that is hustling Kenyans, and it was supposed to be a government for the hustlers, but it looks like the government is hustling the hustlers. Is this the best way that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga can address these issues, or is this also a good step? We can't just say it's disruption of normal activity. Could it be one way to get President William Ruto to listen to our grievances?
One thing that I must really say for sure, that currently the cost of living is increasing day in, day out, with a lot of taxation taking place day in, day out. But another thing that we must also add is that Raila Amolo Odinga, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, have been pointing these issues out for them to be addressed. I feel first and foremost, we need this particular kind of talks, so that maybe this particular remedies can be made. One thing that really makes us wonder is that with this particular kind of increase in particular cost of life, you find that only few Kenyans can manage to afford this. But this is a good forum, this is a good talk that we should have. But now the question is, even if you're being told that we resist this particular policy, the normal citizens cannot resist. because they don't have those particular mandates. I feel it is now the right time for those people that were elected to be in power to have this particular legislation in talks to be in place. Because if today the fuel increases and I want to go to Kisumu, I cannot walk to Kisumu. I will have to pay that cost. But now the pain goes to the normal citizen. But again, this is also a lesson that goes to normal citizen, that in a government that rules, it works for everyone. So before you always elect government, we should always try to look which ideas are realistic and which one can be achieved.
Okay.
Yes.
And also not just wait for Raila Odinga to always be trying to save us, yeah? It is the government we elected who are the ones supposed to be holding it accountable. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is just one citizen in the very many citizens of Kenya who could, take the president up to task. Moving on to the Standard, still, it's Raila's bombshell on the front page. I think we've had a good discussion on that already.
Yes.
If you go to the third page here, I see there's another corruption case where former National Health Insurance Fund has been acquitted and is a free man of 1.1 billion. 1.1 billion corruption. 1.1 billion corruption case. When I mean Kiskia hizi numbers, I don't know. They get me in some state of mind that I can't even try and comprehend how much money that is at the moment. So these graft charges that are being dropped, and we've seen it as a trend since the Kenya Kwanza government came into power. Are these allies of the president, or of course we have seen some allies of the president, who have had their cases acquitted before, and all of them in billions of Kenyan shillings, including the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. So a question that comes is it actually the right decision that is happening, in that there's no evidence that is being presented, or there's no evidence that's found against this corruption case? And we've seen that the president and his deputy saying that these were, of course, cases of malice which were directed to his people during the former President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. Could it be that, or could it be that just President William Ruto saying, telling his friends, poleni, achana na hiyo kesi?
First of all, let me first start and saying that corruption is something that is going to drag us behind. And we find that these particular cases are cases that are being dropped because of, my friend is in the power. For that particular case, let me withdraw these particular cases to them. But what always happens is that legacy is always for a president. And that is why, Bona Richard, during the time of BBI, I was a personal front runner for BBI. I was, for that particular one term. Because the reason why the President William Ruto has to do this is still this is particular friends for the 2027 election. So, if somebody have one term for 7 years, then he will have no mercy for these particular corrupt people, because after all, they are working towards living legitimacy. And one thing that is going to drag the UDA's government behind is that they are not going to fight corruption. That is one thing that we have seen. We've seen so many cases that they are withdrawing, and this is going to leave a very negative impact to that particular government. And we feel like for the president to leave a legacy, the first thing that he must fight is corruption. And I think that is why you find that in our neighbor country, Tanzania, we saw how the former president, the late, really tried to leave a legacy by fighting corruption. And even the president of Malawi also not change the cabinets because his cabinets were corrupt. We are feeling like the president, William Samoei Ruto, should also take that into consideration, more so right now that our money is depreciating in respect to US dollar. Yeah,
that's true. And as you've said there, of course, it's him to decide whether he prioritizes. But in the end, it's either two things. Either the former regime, in which he was a part of as deputy president, was corrupt to a point where there were this many corrupt cases, false cases of corruption, or this current government is actually corrupt for acquitting these corruption cases. So we can only wait to see how it builds up in the next few years and how many cases are being acquitted. Speaking of courts and cases, the court is allowing the banks to resume charges on mobile cash transfers, that is bank to M-Pesa transaction charges. So there's no reprieve for the Kenyan, the normal mwananchi. And as what the Business Daily is detailing here, the Ruto administration is going to borrow a lot for its first term, 3.6 trillion in the first term, to append its plan on going slow on appending its plan on going slow on debt. The additional expenses are detailed there on the Kenya Kwanza draft proposal for the budget to the 2023-2024 financial year. Is there going to be any reprieve for us soon? Is there going to be a positive turnaround in the economic situation? You've just mentioned there that the Kenyan shilling is suffering against the dollar, and I was checking by last week it was 129. I'll just be briefly looking at that as you respond also to see how it's like today. Is there going to be a positive turnaround?
I don't want to be optimistic with this particular issue because we have economical crisis as we speak. But again, I feel like even borrowing money at that particular rate for developing nation like Kenya is like particularly killing us. But this one, I want to blame the last government.
You started to speak like the deputy president.
The reason is this: during the last government is where they increased the debt ceiling to 10 trillion.
Yeah.
I feel we are giving these presidents all reason not to be creative in terms of finding money to run the nation. We are giving them all reasons to depend on borrowing. Because right now we are at 8 trillion borrowed money. So it means that whenever we are going to hit the ceiling, and again, right now, all MPs are towards UDA. They're going now to increase again that particular ceiling.
And we saw the Prime Cabinet Secretary also saying that we should be making friends with the IMF.
Yeah, and we are using that particular talk, so we should be making friends with the particular IMF. And the way we are going, this is how Ghana started, and now we are seeing the fate of Ghana right now. And I feel like even borrowing this huge amount of money,
which is actually higher than what President Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed in the first year, which was at 2.4 trillion. So it's an upwards of 1.something trillion. Yeah.
And we don't have good strategic plan to ensure that this money will be used directly to development. I feel like we are at dying zone because also corruption rate is very high. You'll find that this particular 3.something trillion, 50% or even 60% will going to the pockets of people, and the normal mwananchi will be the person to suffer while paying for this particular debt. What I feel like, the time, let me tell you something. The time this particular government was working through counties, finding issues of economical structure, I was seeing this particular government of UDA being surrounded with economical experts.
Yeah.
But I found that those ones were just, populist ideas. Because right now, while they are now being given the chance to now play the expertise in the economical field, the likes of His Excellency Kimani Ichung'wah, we are finding right now they are now going for borrowing, which have been there since the time immemorial. But I feel this is going to drag us behind, and our economy is still going to suffer because we are the people who are going to pay these taxes.
If you're a member of parliament, what would be your suggestion to the president to turn around the economic situation?
If I am a member of parliament, but today, if I walk into the parliament, there are things that must be made correctly. First, I think to particularly sort the issue of the debt ceiling so that it is not increased, more so during my regime when I'm in that particular member of parliament. But again, secondly, what which I will be only advocating for is finding a way of sealing this particular corrupt mean. I feel there is a way that maybe people should pass particularly harsh conditions to these particular people who are paying corrupt deals and finding a way of recovering the money. Because using debts and etc., the normal people are suffering is normal mwananchi.
Watu wakiiba pesa inarudishwa.
Yes.
So that is still within the economy.
Yeah, but again, what is the incentive? Policies that you are passing is what gives the incentive to people so that they don't be corrupt. If you pass a harsh conditions and that particular president ensures that even 3 or 4 people are arrested and they're in jail, I feel like corruption rate will decrease. But if you are a leader, but those who are surrounding you are corrupt,
and they are getting acquitted,
my friend, then during times of election, people are being ferried with vehicles, are being given 500.
There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah,
that's true. Okay, because it's 9:54 in the morning, I don't think we can go any further. We've only talked about 3 or 4 stories, and I wish we could go in depth because there's a lot that's happening in the dailies, but we'll be inviting you back again, of course, to another time so that we get a detailed discussion in the newspaper section. Maybe your final remarks now, because I'm trying to close the show as well. And then, as you do your final remarks, please read us the quote at the back of the Business Daily today.
Okay. Let me start with the quote. Okay. Freedom is always and exclusively freedom for the one who thinks differently.
Let's get it again.
freedom is always and exclusively freedom for the one who thinks differently.
Yeah, freedom is coming.
So-
Watu wa Kenya Kwanza. That is what you can think about today. Your final remarks.
My final remarks. First and foremost, let me first start by saying that running a government is not an easy task, and the government of Kenya should always try to, even whenever you give ministry to your friend, give them to experts, or even peers, give them to experts, so that you can recover our nation, Kenya. But again, I want to tell particularly the youths and the young coming leaders that we are the think tanks of this particular nation and the upcoming leaders. If we do not change our mindset and run towards this populism ideology, then very soon we are going to lose our nation that our forefathers fought for. Meanwhile, thank you very much for this particular opportunity. And as I also finish, my friend Kennedy Onyango said that when I reach here, let me greet you.
Hello, Kennedy Onyango. Habari ya kwako. Thank you for those messages. Yeah, send him my greetings back. But if he's watching, I'm also happy. Thank you for coming through, Zach.
Thank you very much.
It was a very great discussion we had there.
Thank you very
Make
much.
sure narudi tena, yeah. Na joke of here, very busy, but create some time for us as well.
Thank you very much.
For all those who tuned in here, I don't think I can read all the comments right now. It is 9:55 in the morning. I've seen all of you, including on Twitter. I think Twitter is the one that I haven't had a look at today. I see, I know a lot of people, Samuel Kangara actually watching us from the US. Thank you very much. Leo tuko na watu huko outside the country. Jiuze Gali, other guys here, of course, man like Elvis as well, Tosh Codes giving the sentiments as well there. Nitasoma hizo vitu as during the week, alafu I will be responding even on my personal handles at KUTV Kenya. This has been Biashara Tuesday, where we get to discuss business, the economy, world politics, and also put it into a very thin perspective that is relevant to us as Kenyans. So make sure you're tuning in always to get some of the best insights from industry experts, and also for us to have a look at what developments are happening in the world of business and as well as technology. My name is Richard OKENYE. I'll be a host here next week on Tuesday, but before I come, there'll be Art and Culture Monday on KUTV Rise Today with Karen Blessing. Alafu mimi nitarudi hapa. And as I always say, if you want to have breakfast in bed, sleep in the